Welcome to Hardly, where books turn into 3 stories, refreshing your knowledge in minutes. Today, we study together the book Polarity Intelligence, The Missing Logic in Leadership, in which we probe into how leveraging interdependent tensions in leadership fosters sustainable success in complex environments. Dr. Tracy Christopherson is a coach, counselor, and respiratory therapist. Michelle Troseth is a nurse, recognized global thought leader, former president of the National College of Practice, and a fellow of the American College of Nursing. Don't go away. Hardly, the editor will be right back with the story. Today, I want to share with you 3 stories from the book that vividly illustrate how leaders can harness the power of interdependent tensions, what the authors call polarities, to navigate complex environments and achieve sustainable success. These stories offer practical insights into dealing with challenges that aren't simply problems to be solved, but are instead ongoing tensions to be managed. The first story begins with a hospital CEO named Linda, who was struggling to maintain a balance between the need for strict procedural adherence and fostering a culture of innovation among her staff. In the highly regulated environment of healthcare, Linda knew the importance of following protocols to ensure patient safety and comply with federal regulations. However, she also recognized that a rigid focus on rules was stifling creativity and innovation among her team. Her staff felt they couldn't experiment with new ideas or suggest improvements to processes without fear of reprimand. Linda was caught in a tension between maintaining order and encouraging creativity, a classic example of a polarity. One day, a nurse approached Linda with a new idea to streamline the process for discharging patients, which could potentially save time and improve patient satisfaction. Instead of dismissing the suggestion out of fear that it might conflict with existing procedures, Linda decided to leverage this tension. She created a small task force to explore the idea further while still adhering to the necessary protocols. By doing this, she wasn't choosing one side over the other. She was balancing both. As the authors describe, by recognizing and managing the tension between control and innovation, Linda was able to foster a more dynamic and responsive organizational culture. The discharge process was successfully improved, and the hospital saw a noticeable increase in patient satisfaction scores. Moreover, the culture began to shift towards one where new ideas were valued, and staff felt more empowered to contribute to ongoing improvements. This experience set Linda on a journey to become a more polarity intelligent leader, understanding that many of the issues she faced weren't problems with a clear-cut solution, but rather tensions to manage over time. She began applying this mindset across the board, from handling staffing shortages to budget constraints, always looking for ways to balance competing demands rather than trying to solve them outright. This approach led to more sustainable outcomes and a more engaged, innovative workforce. Our second story follows Robert, a seasoned manager at a manufacturing company who found himself in the middle of a fierce debate over centralization versus decentralization of operations. His company was expanding rapidly, opening new plants across the country. Some executives believed that centralizing operations would ensure consistency and reduce costs, while others argued that decentralizing would allow individual plants to be more responsive to to local market conditions and needs. Robert was tasked with finding a solution to this escalating conflict. Rather than taking sides, Robert decided to use polarity thinking to approach the issue. He mapped out the positive outcomes of both centralization and decentralization, efficiency and consistency on one side, flexibility and responsiveness on the other. He also noted the potential downsides of overemphasizing either approach, such as becoming too bureaucratic or too fragmented. With this framework in mind, Robert proposed a hybrid model, standardizing core processes that were critical to the brand's identity, while allowing each plant some autonomy to tailor their operations to local demands. His proposal was met with skepticism at first, but as the team began to see the benefits of this balanced approach, they realized it wasn't about choosing one option over the other. The company was able to maintain high levels of consistency and quality control, while also adapting swiftly to local market changes, which ultimately boosted both efficiency and customer satisfaction. As the book points out, Robert's ability to leverage the polarity between centralization and decentralization led to innovative solutions that improved both operational efficiency and market responsiveness. His success story spread throughout the organization, prompting other managers to adopt polarity thinking in their decision-making processes. This brings us to the third story, which focuses on Maria, a project manager in a tech firm, dealing with the ongoing tension between speed and thoroughness in product development. In the fast-paced world of technology, the pressure to deliver new products quickly can often lead to shortcuts that compromise quality. Maria's team was under intense pressure to launch a new software update ahead of a competitor's release. Some team members pushed for speed, arguing that they could always fix any bugs in later updates. Others insisted on thorough testing to avoid damaging the company's reputation with a flawed release. Maria recognized this as a polarity to manage rather than a problem to solve. She gathered her team and facilitated a discussion that acknowledged the value of both speed and thoroughness. Together, they identified strategies to balance these competing demands, such as implementing parallel testing processes and utilizing automated tools to speed up quality checks without sacrificing depth. By managing the tension between speed and thoroughness, the book notes, Maria was able to meet the market deadline without compromising the quality of the software. The product launch was a success, not only hitting the market on time, but also receiving high praise for its reliability, a rare feat in an industry where speed often compromises quality. These stories highlight a critical insight. By shifting from a problem-solving mindset to one that recognizes and leverages interdependent tensions, leaders can find more effective and sustainable solutions to complex challenges. Each of these leaders, Linda, Robert, and Maria, demonstrated how understanding the polarities in their work environments enabled them to navigate challenges more effectively and lead their teams to success. By leveraging interdependent tensions, leaders don't have to choose between two equally important outcomes. Instead, they can find a balance that harnesses the strengths of both sides. This is the essence of polarity intelligence. Understanding that some challenges are not problems to be solved, but tensions to be managed continuously. In conclusion, developing a polarity mindset allows leaders to see beyond the either-or thinking that often limits organizational growth and innovation. It equips them with the tools to balance competing demands, anticipate potential conflicts, and foster a culture that values diverse perspectives and collaborative problem solving. As the editor of Hardly, by learning these concepts, we can approach future challenges with a mindset that embraces complexity and fosters continuous learning, driving sustainable success in our evolving world. To conclude, let's revisit our key insight: the power of leveraging interdependent tensions, or polarities, in leadership to foster sustainable success in complex environments. This approach allows leaders to balance competing demands and navigate challenges more effectively. One striking example from the book features an educational administrator named Susan, who faced a recurring conflict between the need for standardized testing and fostering creativity in the classroom. Teachers felt pressured to teach to the test, stifling creativity, while standardized assessments were essential for measuring student progress and securing funding. Instead of choosing one side, Susan introduced a new strategy: integrating creative projects that align with curriculum standards. This approach allowed students to demonstrate their understanding creatively, while also performing well on standardized tests. Susan's ability to see the value in both structured learning and creative freedom created a more dynamic and engaging educational environment, the book highlights. Her initiative led to improved test scores and a notable increase in student engagement and satisfaction. This story reinforces the book's central argument: understanding and managing polarities can lead to more innovative and effective solutions. By adopting a polarity mindset, leaders can avoid false choices and foster environments that embrace both and thinking, ultimately driving better outcomes. As the editor of Hardly, by learning to balance these tensions, we can better prepare for future challenges, fostering environments where innovation and tradition coexist, ensuring lasting success in an ever-evolving world.